stop manipulating people with guilt. We've all had that experience where we turn someone down, we say no to someone, and then they're like, really? You can't come? You're not gonna make it to my thing? You're not gonna do this? Like, really? You're not gonna do this for me? Treat others how you wanna be treated. So if you don't like when people try to make you feel guilty or accidentally try to manipulate you with guilt, and I say accidentally because we're all, I won't say guilty, we are all susceptible to accidentally, mindlessly, unconsciously using guilt to get our way or to manipulate. We don't even know we're manipulating. We have to figure out a way to be more conscious about how we communicate. I want to also tell you why this came up for me, and it's actually a really good reason. This past weekend, one of my best friends was in town from Chicago, so about an hour away, and we don't get to see each other in person very often. So when she was in town, we planned to see each other. She was gonna come over and have some wine, and we were gonna catch up. But it was on a Sunday night. The day before that, I had just hosted my second women's retreat. That evening, I started to notice that I was really tired, and I just didn't have it in me to stay up until 8 o'clock when she was gonna come over, and then stay up later than that to actually have conversation with her. I sent her a text. There was a slight bit of me that was afraid, just because I'm still working on that fear of turning people down or disappointing other people, saying no. So in this case, my friend, she had the opportunity then to unconsciously, if she wanted to make me feel guilty, she could have accidentally done that, right? She could have been like, oh, but it's my only time home. We never get to see each other. I really wanted to see you. Instead, I received a text from her that said, okay, I was about to say the same exact thing. Love you. That's what she said to me. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, my heart was just so full. Like, that is a real friend. And that's just someone being conscious. And that's someone not only understanding, but showing up with love, right? And saying, even though we can't see each other in person, I love you and I understand. Those are the moments that I want more of in my life. I never want to make someone feel guilty for doing anything or not doing anything. I'm just over here doing my thing, and if friends want to show up for things or be around for things or come to things I invite them to or call me or FaceTime me or whatever, that is just a plus. That's an addition to my life. But I will never hold it over anyone's head to be there for me, because I just don't feel like that's fair. There's no contracts in a friendship. It's just a free-flowing relationship that I like to put effort into when I feel the urge to, and then I want them to only put effort in when they feel the urge to, right? We're just there to support each other whenever it feels right. What I really want to help you consider and just bring more consciousness to and bring more awareness to is trying to really figure out and notice if you accidentally use guilt to manipulate anyone in your life. Now, where I can tell you I've actually done this, and I think this is potentially the only time that this happens for me, which is really unfortunate for the person. I've used this in relationship to my significant other. With friends, I don't think, like, I don't know if I've ever made a friend or sent a message or said anything to a friend that would be like, oh, really, you're not gonna do this, or like tried to use guilt or shame or obligation in any way. But I know I have done this with significant others. Now, my first relationship I had when I was 20, basically we met when I was 18. Oh my gosh, I ruined that relationship because I did that. Like, if he came home an hour later than he said he was going to, I was like, silent treatment, like, do not talk to me, and just like wanted to like make him feel so bad and so guilty. And if he took one shot when we were at a bar, it was like I just gave him like the dirtiest looks and just wanted to manipulate him and just make him feel so badly about himself all the time. And I was totally unconscious of it, totally unconscious. And I talk about this a little bit in my podcast episode about relationships and toxicity in relationships, because I think this is where our intimate relationships is where a lot of our truths come out, a lot of our shadow parts of ourselves come out. It's much easier to kind of be pure and just solid love with everyone else because they're not as deeply connected, meaning they're not with you on a daily basis all day long, and you can kind of hide those parts of yourself, even on accident. You can hide those parts of yourselves from your friends, even from your family members sometimes. But when you're in a relationship, a marriage, a committed monogamous relationship of any kind, those things show up, and I've noticed that for myself. So I still on occasion will notice myself being like a little bit passive aggressive, and that's what that is, right? If you're passive aggressive about anything, you're trying to manipulate with negative emotions. You're trying to make someone feel badly so that you can get the result that you want, even if that result is simply just to make them feel badly. And it's just not fair. It's just not fair. And it's something that we can control, and we need to be so much more aware and conscious. So dive into your life. Where are you accidentally, unconsciously using guilt or obligation or shame to manipulate? Are you doing it to friends? Are you doing it to family members? Are you doing it to your children? Are you doing it to your significant other? And how can you be more aware of this? Just noticing it each time you do it, and even if it's after the fact, even if it's right now you realize you did it last week or last month or last year, maybe reach out to that person and say, you know what? I am so sorry that I tried to make you feel this way, or that I made you feel this way. I'm sorry that I sent that message, or that I gave you the cold shoulder because I wanted you to feel a certain way. And then maybe go deeper into it. You can say, this is why I did it, because I just wanted you there, right? Maybe it's something like that. Someone turned down an invitation, someone couldn't show up for you for something, and then you tried to lay guilt or shame or obligation onto them simply because you wanted them to be there for you. So instead of keeping it surface level at that stage of manipulation, you can say, listen, that was totally wrong of me to try to make you feel this way, but this is why I did it. I really just wanted you to be there because I care about you, and your support means a lot, and you being in my company means a lot to me. Whatever it is, someone couldn't be in your wedding or at your wedding. Someone couldn't come on a trip. Someone didn't want to go on a date with you, or come to a family get-together or a birthday party, like I said. Whatever it is, just see if you can find it in yourself to reach out and apologize. And then going forward, just notice when you do it, because none of us like to feel that way. And we all have already such a hard time saying no to things because we care what other people think so much, which I also talked about in another episode about you don't actually care what people think, right? You care what you think about what people think. We already have a hard enough of a time trying to say no because there are so many things coming at us that we have to filter through. And we're getting busier and busier and busier, and we're so overwhelmed, and we have a lot on our plate, and we don't know how to create conscious space to just be and to relax and to just breathe. So why would we try to, knowing that everyone's going through that, why would we add to that pressure by making someone feel obligated or guilty or shameful for not coming to something that we've invited them to, or for not doing something that we've wanted them to? Everyone's going through something difficult. Just try to show up with more love, more understanding, and put yourself in their shoes. If someone turns you down, even if you think their reasoning is bullshit, even if you think they're lying, even if you have like this weird, like where you keep track of how many times they've turned you down, like, oh, well, she hasn't come to my last 4 birthdays, so why can't she come to this one? It's like, oh no, sister, that is not a friendship. Release them and let them be free. Like, you are not here to control anyone but yourself. We cannot use guilt or shame or obligation any longer because it just doesn't put good energy out into the world, and none of us want to feel it, so why would we put it on anyone else? I hope this helps you in some way. I hope it helps the people around you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know, have you accidentally done this to someone? Has someone done this to you? Share this with someone if you think they can benefit from it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!